a band on tour. This summer, my band went on tour for about 2 weeks. And the kind of the rundown of what happens when you go on tour is you book a bunch of shows, you have all these venues set up in place, and you go from town to town and play a show every night for 2 weeks. But the other thing about tours, you don't always know where you're staying. You might have friends, and that works out great for you, but when you head into the deep south, you start knowing less and less people. So I wasn't so worried about going to Greensboro, North Carolina, because I did know somebody there. I met him a couple of years ago when I was living with a girl. She was my roommate, and she was best friends with his daughter. So this is the father of the daughter that I met for like 5 days. So I actually contacted him before we went to Greensboro to see if we could stay with him, but he never got back to me. And as it gets closer and closer to Greensboro, I'm like trying to get in touch. I'm like, we really need a place to stay. We don't know anybody in Greensboro. And like, if you don't know anybody, you rely on the kindness of strangers. It's kind of sketchy. So finally, at the venue in Greensboro, he finally responds. He's like, I might be able to put up a couple of you, but the hesitancy on the whole matter is a little alarming. But you know what? I wasn't really thinking too much about it. I was pretty desperate. So in the middle of the show, I get a phone call. And it's loud. There's a band playing. I'm in the bathroom, actually. And I'm trying to talk to him, but I can't hear what he's saying. And, you know, he's like, it's okay if you bring like a couple of people. And I thought I heard him say, but there's a band in the room. So I'm like, oh, whatever. We can share. It's no problem. So half the band decides to stay at like a frat house on the Greensboro, North Carolina campus. And then 3 of us decided to stay with my friend. And it's late, dark, we're leaving, we have directions to get out there, but we don't know where it is. And it's like, it's out of the city. It's in the middle of nowhere, and it's dark. And we get there, and the driveway isn't even a driveway, it's this little windy dirt road. And we're driving down it, and you know, we get there, and he comes out, and he like invites us up to smoke a joint with him. So we get in there, and I realize he lives in a shack. This place is covered from floor to ceiling with books and junk and boxes, and they're all like piled up against each other, and like there's no room in this house anywhere for us to sleep. And so we're just hanging out with him, shooting the shit, catching up, because I hadn't seen him in like 5 years. And then he's like, by the way, the place you're staying, it's actually this abandoned house next door to me. The guy hasn't been there in a couple of months. And you're going to have to walk through this really tall grass with a lot of ticks. And there's no bedding. And it's all concrete floors. And by the way, there's rodents. And he's like, I will take so it was 2 girls and a guy that were me, one other lady, and a male. He's like, I'm going to take the male, and I will show him how to get there. And we will bring some mattresses from underneath my basement over. And I'm thinking to myself, if I didn't know this guy any better, I would be like, this is sketchy. He's taking the one guy away from the girls in this really sketchy, like, southern town. Like, this sounds like a horror movie. So they leave, and I look at my friend, and I'm like, if you want to leave, it's okay. There's still time. And, like, her sense of adventure is, like, I don't know where she got her bravery that night, but she's like, no, it's fine. I don't think she understood the magnitude of the situation. So they come back. And the guy tells us, like, those mattresses smell like piss. He's like, like, that dungeon from whence they came, like, it smells like someone has been defecating in there. Like, it's bad. And they're like, oh, we'll figure it out. So he leads us through the grass, and he kind of only halfway remembered the path to get there. And then we assess the situation. We're like, this isn't so great. We actually ended up setting tents up over the mattresses to provide a barrier from the mattresses and the rodents and the spiders. And we woke up early the next day and promptly left.